Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to approve the agenda as presented. Additions, concerns, and hearing none, all those in favor? I move to approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes for March 13th, 2025. Pretty short one. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Regular meeting minutes, March 18th, 2025. No, wasn't there more discussion on the gate fees? I don't think it was anything important. Why is a citizen? No. Anybody here for anything that's not on the agenda? Thank you. Whole business. They're still making decisions, amendments, looking at the budget. So this one here, I move to approve the revised fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget with $463,000 reduction for the proposed fiscal year 25-26 town capital plan. Okay, I've heard this 3 times. I get it. Somebody said it well enough for me to get it. Maybe they'll explain it to me. Go ahead.
The first step, we're moving $263,000 out of the proposed budget that we're here for culvert repairs, slip lines. The slip line, we're moving into this budget. We're going to use most of the funds, money from the state for road construction. Is that? Thank you.
Yes, and it has to be an approved capital project to close funds, so that's why we're doing a town meeting. Is it on the agenda?
To make it approved fund, to apply to the state to use the LoSiP. And then we're moving, we pre-approved $498,000 for the LoSiP project, mainly to buy HVAC project, mainly to buy electrical equipment in advance due to the shortages and lead times on electrical equipment before we actually had funding. So we had from our general fund $400,000. We did not need it all. We feel that there's $200,000 that will go back to the general fund. So we're in the budget process when we move $200,000 back to general fund, so we have it there for future use. And then we're going to bond for the funding for the HVAC project and take the state grant money.
Like what state grant money?
With the $3 billion.
Getting the picture.
We're just so $463,000, moving it back into. So, any discussion? All those in favor? Vice Town Lynch's update, next step. Well, you can see these today.
Right after the vote. So stay tuned, not go down. There you go.
I looked through them, a couple of things that the English kind of got me. There was one word in there that I didn't see whatsoever. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but there seems to be a lot of, there seems to be some grandfather things on the lake, and I'm not sure they are found in here, or what do we do about it? This was could have been in. Okay, I'll give you a shot at it. Tell me.
About grandfathering, we were informed by our town council, the attorneys had suggested that grandfathering is not a requirement. It's something that can be voluntarily granted, by, the town in an ordinance if it wishes to do that. LMAC determined to proceed without providing for grandfathering in this draft to present to the board. There's no requirement for grandfathering, it's elected.
Okay. So I did see that pretty much everything that you talked about does lay to the feet of the board of selectmen, as it should. So I appreciate that, and I continue to hope to work with LMAC very closely. We respect your experience, desire for the sake of the lake. We won't always see eye to eye, but I think most of the time, not nearly all the time, I believe we'll have the same thing covered. So I've looked at these. What we're going to do is the board now has them. Look at them on their own for a week or two. So there's two parts of that. Yep. So look at them both. It deals with safety of the lake for the most part. When I look at this, in every area, it was for a lake that we want to be here for a very long time. The lives we live. Okay.
We've got several people from LMAC here ready to give you about 5 minute, 30,000 foot view of what you have in front of you. Helpful to get that orientation.
Is that going to be Noreen? Because I know how you and
We'll do our best.
listen, for those who didn't go to the fundraiser on Saturday night, if you did, it was all about fun. It was all about fun, being there for everybody. So if I make fun, it's because we have to laugh sometimes. And I am the butt of many jokes. So honestly, all right, who's going to do it?
Thank you very much. Let me be quickly gone in terms of the whys of this and what you will see in this particular ordinance. I think Henry can address part of the what's. As we, with your guidance, because it was several meetings ago, if not a year plus ago, you asked us to really focus on shoring up town ordinances that were respective to the lake. And as we went through that process, we started to work with Deep relative to that. And we submitted some things to Deep with your blessing. Deep came back to us with some very interesting comments and information that really led to why we were doing a town ordinance specific to launching motorized boats at the town launch only. Because it was Deep's suggestion that they couldn't really mandate what we launch on this lake because it is not their property. It is the town of Columbia's property. So as a result, we are presenting to you a town ordinance that Henry can build on related to what we as a town can do on our own property, launching motorized or non-motorized boats onto this lake. The specifics are in the ordinance, and Henry will address a few. Why did we choose this path? We chose this path for two reasons. We love this lake. We enjoy this lake, and that's as a town. There are recreational benefits, there are environmental benefits, there are economic benefits that are being challenged by two things. I have for you, and we'll get into the detail, what we call a findings of fact, when we started to really look into how we protect this lake. There are two things that I know the board is aware of that can harm us. One is aquatic invasive species. You know that, you've seen proof of that. And recently, I know Muffy was at a conference where Dr. Bugby from Connecticut Agriculture has said almost 2/3 of our water bodies are faced with aquatic invasive species. We have some in Mono Pond, we have some right down the road in Holbrook Pond that is probably the worst ever, called hydrilla. So we need to protect the lake. The second reason is environmentally, we know motorboats and engines of a certain size are going to harm the phosphorus load in the lake. And we presented some of that information to you in previous meetings. So based on saving the lake for the sake of the lake, to save it from aquatic invasive species, and to minimize the phosphorus load that is growing in our lake, we present this ordinance to you. And the what's of the ordinance are in the guts that you'll get. I will hand out the findings of facts to Jennifer, and I'm sure she'll make them available. There's enough copies for everyone. But it's all based on science, and it's all based on what we can do to maintain for the future as well as the present this land. Thank you.
Thank you.
We spoke at meetings back at the end of last year and about the fact that the town council had looked into ways that the board could regulate boat launching on the lake without having the statute up with this CGS section 7-148 C8A but it basically allows the town to regulate environmental things on the shore and adjacent to waterways. And on the strength of that, we put together this ordinance that deals with boat launching. It requires all motorboats to be launched at the town beach for the first time. You can't launch it anywhere else. Anything other than a motorboat basically can still be launched at other locations, but no launch can take place without having an invasive species inspection, either by a town inspector at the beach or by a resident of the town on private property after having had some educational materials put together. It provides for the opportunity to have fees if the selectmen so determine. It provides for an enforceable fine system that the proposal here steps up so that it has some teeth in it if it's ignored for a period of time. It's potential to be amended to address however you want to proceed, but it will have teeth. It still has the ability for discretionary use so that there can be ample number of warnings before a fine is levied, and you can proceed accordingly. It does not address a gate key system. If they continue with that, that could be incorporated into here, but it does not at this point. It requires all launching to take place place during the set time periods. Time periods are left open. It's designed to marry with whatever the selectmen decide about how the gate is going to be controlled going forward. So that is in general the case. It all ties into environmental protection concepts and designed to do a more thorough job of basis we got all the way through a good inspection. Horsepower for safety inspection and for registration and residency. It combines all of the things which we had been previously using to govern a boat on the lake, putting it into this ordinance with environmental reasons for moving them to here, and in that fashion also putting it in an ordinance where the town does not have to go to the DEP. As a part of this process, we proceed with this ordinance, we will have to amend the existing ordinances to take out parts that have been moved here and solid. Thought it was a good idea to have it all in one place as opposed to spread out amongst 4 or 5 ordinances where it's hard for a person to find all of the right pieces of information they need. So now it's all in one nice organized location and under the control of the town.
So I look here, and so basically what you're explaining to me is this is dealing with this, but I don't see something like the wave runners or that. That's contained in another area as a description as a motor vessel.
Well, it's in the definition. Motorboat is basically anything that's propelled by machinery.
Okay, that's why I didn't see it here, so that will revert me back to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I read this. I think we're a little rough on the kayaks and stuff. You know, the stickers and everything. I mean, unfortunately, I have received it. Everybody talks to me about the lake, and I'm not just telling you the truth. Everybody talks to me about the lake. On the lake in my kayak, and somebody pulls me over, makes me stop, and do my propulsion this, and you know, it takes a while for me to get going again, or I'm out there paddling, or something has to, and they have to check the sticker on the side of my kayak. Really? Is that really? So we need to look at a couple things, but that's also in the training thereof, the Marine Patrol. So we need to work on that too. So I thank you.
With respect to the sticker program, the goal is to have it be obvious and with the recognition that invasive species can be inside a kayak hull just as much as they can be in the bilge of a motorboat. Some kayaks stay here all the time, and we've made some special concession to that when somebody signs a statement to that effect. But other kayaks are moving around. Water, guest spring kayaks on the top of their cars and so forth, and we want to make sure that those aren't tipped up and let the water drain out of them into the lake.
Okay, I did look at this. I mean, $250 fines. Thank you. Balance of the calendar year for repeated problem. Thank you. Just hope we can enforce them. So I asked the board to take a look at these, read through them. Again, knowing what was explained to us here, the language which is used to bring it to us, and read a couple lines a few times.
Anybody has questions, you want to send them to me in advance of the meeting, I can start trying to get answers, so we don't go meeting to meeting. There's a lot here.
And if I may say, Almac would like to see if we can get this in place for this boating season. And so the time, obviously, made it short, and it's, short to you, so, I don't know whether you can accommodate by moving quickly on this, we don't wanna rush it, it's an important subject.
Absolutely. Yes, sir, in the back, name please. Jeff Morrison, 14 Whiskey Landing. So, I've been doing a little bit of research myself. What is actually going on. And again, why was this? I feel like it's targeting of community members in this town. And it's information that we're looking for. And in what is problems that now why has the town followed through? In fact, to address the enforcement action, officially, we tried to do such things. It's only maybe 2 dozen. I understand this fisherman keeping the lake as safe as possible. Now, I will speak out of what that comes to mind. Sometimes it's not the best words that are chosen, but for the you know, they're putting on the education, every year plus keep our boats clean, wash our boats. I also who's going to do the inspection? That town resident that hasn't been through the training that the voters have? That same training that the private citizens that own the lakefront property that are just gonna let the friends go because all of that. They go out through the taking testing. So there's the standard that comes down to so-called training and accessibility. This really does. Yes, it's about citizens. Schools that would be taxed. That's what. And I would explain to a couple of folks here, including Mark, when it comes down to the fishermen, you know, the discussion of, well, pre-planning. Okay, I can understand pre-planning. If I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna launch my this sort of that's how we having this resource here in our town, in our community.
If my kids come home from school and say, hey, I want to fish, we all do, we do things. So, people want to fish for an hour or two with our families. That's what it comes down to. That's stuff that can't be complained. Or it's not feasible or reasonable to be. It's one of those things that as a family and a member of this community, we should be able to, if we want to have it. And being responsible for the keys. And if anything, this should step. There was supposed to be discussion and plans on more robust system to be able to allow presence.
I appreciate your comments. That's why the very next issue, this is set a meeting to discuss hours for lake, after hours lake access. I get it. I don't know what the solution is. I don't. So I'm gonna ask you and the other fishermen and whatever, come up with a couple of different solutions. So we tried. I'm gonna grant you this, we're gonna set a meeting for after hours lake access discussion. Okay? The safety of the lake is paramount. We all agree. I understand it. The problem is I have to be able to get a solution that the board and first element, like the board has to be very confident. And on this issue, you weighed in, Commissioner weighed in, is important. But LMAC is important also. So we need to come up with a solution because I brought it up 2 weeks ago and we thought it was a done solution. I'll tell you, it was addressed in the winter time. Okay, I was probably short-sighted and hell bent on draining the lake. I mean, not draining the lake, getting rid of the gate. People do leave it open. It's not so much as the fishing. I understand it. It's those who have used keys that either weren't theirs, or loaned out keys, or used keys falsely. One said they were ski boat, something different. That's what has happened where it can't happen. I can't come to the people of this town and say, $125,000 a year to keep the invasive species where they are. Never mind get rid of them. Just keep it from encasing the whole thing. So we're going to give you time. Bring me solutions. Okay? Please, I watch you out. I don't know. Listen, I need solutions. I'll not efficiency. Talking out there.
Solution that doesn't seem to work.
It was, well, first of all, trying to get somebody there to open the gate at 6 a.m. We couldn't find it.
Right now, it's been Goose Egg.
The other thing was going to be call and reserve. Call by 9 p.m. and we would have somebody be there to open the gate for you at 6 a.m. Can't plan for it. I'm just saying, in the morning, it's late night, it's overnights, it's different types of fishing that's out there. Folks that so I honestly though, the thing is this, in your solution, know this. I give you a gate key because I believe somebody comes to me and they want a gate key. What are you going for? Oh, you're not fishing? Oh, now they're gonna say, oh, we're gonna go fishing. Okay, and the next thing I know, I've got a party boat out there late at night after hours, and it's happening. gonna bring in the state trooper or hear about it the next day. And there was nothing I could do about it. So just, all I'm saying is, I wanna get you guys out. You gotta bring the solution. Help me, okay? So as far as the ordinance here, please take a look at them. We'll be discussing them next meeting. We'll finalize.
Yes.
Vote on, okay? So bring your thoughts and stuff. Next, set a meeting to discuss after hours lake access. Okay, last 2 weeks ago, I tried to bring it up. I get it, we talked about it, we thought it was a done deal. But I received a couple of phone calls that said we don't like that done deal, and I've received a few more since 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna ask you to meet with those people who want to get on the lake after hours. Listen to what they have to say and try and come up with a solution that fits everybody. Because they're right, they pay taxes. The lake belongs to everybody in town, whether you live on it or not. We should be able to meet the needs of those people who want to use such a great asset. If we can. So,
Is there a night next week that the whole board could be available?
I have no idea.
The 7th is Monday, 8th is Tuesday. Wednesday will be fine. Thursday is State Historical Society. So, Tuesday? Monday too. Although we have HVAC.
Yeah.
Monday. Monday's in the event.
I know my wife's April 10th on will be very difficult.
You want it earlier than 7 or? No.
Oh, I don't.
So that's the 8th. Tuesday,
You want to go to 7? Well, 6:30 is probably. 7 it is. So I move to set a meeting to discuss after hours lake access for Tuesday the 8th, 7 p.m. And right here. Those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Would you all? Will it be Zoomed? Zoom, yeah. Zoom. And so, we guarantee. New business. I move to set a town meeting for Tuesday, April 15th, year 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at the Adela G. Urban Conference Room for the following purposes. Clause 1, to approve a general fund to approve a general fund transfer in the amount of $225,000 to the town corporate capital account number 20-6187-004 Box Culvert, the replacement, repair, and order fund repairs to culverts located at Old Romantic Road and Chesborough Road. We'll have, there's 3 clauses, but we're going to go one by one. All those in favor of setting a meeting for 225? Choose to approve the general fund transfer of $39,000 to facilities professional tech account number 10-4530-500 to cover the cost of our budget for the town facilities repairs, as well as add some funds to cover unanticipated costs to the end of the fiscal year 24-25. Clause 3, to amend the ordinance titled Article 5, abatement for volunteer firefighters. 267-7 definitions, to add a new paragraph regarding eligibility as follows.
C,
remains an active member of the Columbia Volunteer Fire Department after having met the requirements of 267-13 for each of 25, not necessarily consecutive years, but has not met the requirements of 267-13 for the then current program year in question. Okay, so the bottom line is, you got a fire person, they discussed it, you remember, firewoman, whatever, they get hurt, they have to be out for a year, they don't meet the requirements, it's not a consecutive year, or they have a child, or they have to move away to care for somebody, whatever it is. If there's an absence, then they can't meet the requirements to get a good year, they can piece together 25 years of good years. They're to be, not to lose any of their entitlements. Okay, that they so deserve. Alright. So there's a motion. Town meeting for April 15th. 6:30. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yeah. 6.2, Democratic Town Committee Rally on Town Green, on April 19th, 2025. Tell me about it.
That town meeting wants to have a rally, to have it be a positive event to support, freedom of speech, democracy, and so we're going here just to let people know what we want to do. I think they're, it's just kind of starting. I think we're going to try to get some other towns to.
Now, here's a joke. If I wanted, I would say you're going to have a mass swearing in of switching parties. No, I'm teasing. But go ahead.
Well, let's just support freedom of speech.
What are you doing?
Just gathering with some signs, gathering signs. People going by either honking their horns or.
You're going to have respectful signs.
We're gonna be we're talking about very positive, yes, respectful signs.
I don't know why freedom of speech is actually the right to
Assemble.
assemble. So,
Yeah, support the support.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
well, to grant, actually, to grant a permit,
to have a organized assembly on the green, usually requires permission from us.
oh, wait, I got it.
What are you gonna?
I move to approve the Democratic Town Committee rally on the Town Green, April 19th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Was it April 22nd? Was it available?
April 19th. What did you say?
April 22nd, was it available? Isn't that?
Birthday.
Birthday.
My brother's birthday.
Actually, in the name, isn't that Patriots Day?
No, is it? That's when we thought we were gonna have those. Building permit cost increase. Let this get out of control, I apologize. I move to increase the per $1,000 building permit fee from $12 to $15 and an additional $12 per building permit to cover the cost of terminaling software. Okay. Every time we increase fee to somebody, we're gonna give it. But, Mark, we did some surveying around towns. You have that?
So, in short, most of the towns all around us are $15 per thousand. Portland, East Hartford, Coventry, Scotland, Lebanon, Andover. Bolton is at 14, Mansfield's at 13, and the only ones at 12, like us, are Montville, Hebron, and Franklin. But then there's other towns, Norwich, Colchester, Boston, and Wyndham, go all the way up to $20 per thousand. So the bulk of the towns now are 15,000. We haven't raised fees in a long time.
Yeah, but don't you raise fees because the cost of everything is going up, so you automatically get an increase? So, I mean, what cost $2,000 2 years ago now costs $2,700, so you just increased to.
Or everything going up because everybody's increased the cost. cost of the permit.
How much is it going up?
$3 per
$3
thousand.
per thousand.
And that's to offset the increased cost in software, you said?
Well, there's also a $12 fee per permit that we've been absorbing. That's how much the software costs. It's on a, we're charged for, so break even on the software. It would be $12. So if we only did $1,000, it would be a minimum charge plus a $12. Minimum charge right now, which I think commercial will remain the same. Minimum fee for permit. Houses we put up here. We did, well, with permits, we did 500. Usually we bring 2 houses to our grand list, but usually there's at least 4 in the process.
So what would be the increase? Let's say if it was,
Well, right now, you collected of those 500. Last. Well,
Of the transfer station.
that was everything goes up.
Permit fees on $400,000, $6,000.
And if you're spending 400,000, that's 6 more.
Just saying,
What would it be? 4,500 now? No, it'd be more than that. Yes, it would. It'd be
Oh.
45,200.
thanks. I'm just saying, if the cost of everything was.
Yeah.
Extension. Make motion.
Just a reminder, I completed on April 14th, 7 o'clock. We didn't close the public hearing. That met on March 10th. Now they're meeting again on April 14th to discuss the zoning amendments that you'll see included in your under administrative report. So if there's anything you want more information on, just talk to me, and I'll jump up through. Also, I went to the emergency management symposium today. Met Jerry James there, I didn't know he was back in Florida. So we both did some of the booths and heard that FEMA might be moving its responsibilities now down to the state level. Trying to figure out what that might mean for how disasters will be funded.
Means we'll still get.
And what we went over, set through a symposium on natural disasters, and we're due. We haven't had a really bad hurricane. The worst hurricane we had was 1938. And at that time, with the winds, 75% of all our trees were down. So That's what they fear, and those trees everything's going back. It was quite enlightening on the destruction of flooding trees, and now the fear is fire, which we haven't had any really good clearing of brush and woods. Debbie Downer. People, they just love getting ready for disasters. But
you know what?
what they said was each natural disaster, like the big fire, the surface fire. After that, we stopped waxing all our canvas with paraffin. The Coliseum collapsed in Hartford. After that, we actually didn't start trusting our computers to design load-bearing roofs. We actually started doing that. And 5,000 people would have died of that had it not just been that collapsed that night when nobody was in.
The game got over.
5,000.
I think it was a UConn game against the ball or something, and 3 hours before the roof collapsed.
And then literally, had they had the hockey game that postponed because of the snow,
Yes.
and all the people preparing it to convert it from basketball to hockey would have been.
I think it was a basketball game. It could have been anything.
It was basketball. Yeah. So these are interesting forums I sat through. That's all I have.
Okay, correspondence, article. Topic to benefit wildfire victims. Actually, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And, we raised, $2,300.
Close to that, yeah.
Yeah.
We're 2,100, I think. Close to 21.
2,100. So,
You must see the gas, you're competing against the gas.
Oh, yes. The phones are on the table.
more than a couple people came up to me and said, this was great, we should do more of it.
It was this.
Transfers?
Thank you.
This was the fridge.
Think back to you.
Side there, on the side. Oh, you did. You started in year-end madness.
Yeah. Let me look at this. What did buying,
So, we have a bunch of computers that need replacement, or they won't be compatible to Microsoft 11, running up in the fall. There's some other small needs that need to be done, so right now I'm looking at $9,300 will come out of the professional tech room. There's some projects that really completed, and there's extra money in the IT line, so it's moving that money. The next one is the purchase of a number of electricity lines that are powered by different renewables. So I have 5 lines. Hopefully this will cover it all for the year, but there was some electricity lines and some old kind of shift lines so that we could do them out with electricity lines. It's gonna total about $700 between the two to cover all the electricity lines. Let me get down to a teeny tiny little one in conservation here. Conference line went over by $10, so that was an easy swap over from general to fire.
what the heck, management?
So, $1,440, so I'm taking out their electrical line. Another $100 over in them.
And then the one with the cancel is just the ones you approved for the general fund, just the information on the last two.
You missed the repairs of the. Oh, yeah, that was, there was repairs done at the, boat launch area, the buffer, and stuff from. $530. So the total transfer is $17.
I move to approve the transfers as presented. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. I move to approve payment of bills totaling $503,000. Okay, I move to approve the refunds totaling $1,536.95.
Very makes like sense.
It is. Next, I just took a look. It's because of-
$121 4. $251.
Because he wasn't here in the 100%. This guy. If you're overseas and your card is sits in your garage, you don't have to pay taxes, I'm not sure.
Make a motion. I move to the refunds in the amount of $1,536.95. All those in favor? Opposed? Now bills. I move we pay bills in the amount of $503, $486.47, consisting of 2425 emergency, 2425 regular. It's actually a little payment 4 and 4, credit card and paychecks. I saw something that the libraries may be affected by federal funding.
Yeah.
I'm sure the libraries can do that.
We get federal funding from the library, for our library. It's a secret.
Everything's affected.
It's not true, Judy.
Sally, see a $67,000 payment to electricians.
Well, that was part of it.
Right. All of it.
You see, find out.
It's electric. Motion detector lights. brush opener and plugs. And it had to be dug underground.
See our freight line was in.
Yes, brand new. Son-in-law was $550. Just stop and say, this year, just literally just went.
Speaking of solar panels, actually got a credit from Eversource this morning for $7. You don't have solar.
Please.
Don't worry, they'll be going soon.
That's sure.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a 48.
Yeah,
I just love that.
How much?
48. I won't help them. Hey. They need, my need clean. I never wanted them. If we can have. The ability, it's clean and so.
What do we mean, come on?
Wash them.
Yeah,
Yes.
I clean one.
You really.
Well,
You go to that.
It's just.
No, no, nice, easy, just put water on and I use a very fine brush.
You know,
You have to get a lot.
you really should. My mother, when I was a kid, he had hot water soap when I was a kid, and you would see a reduction in the heat, and she'd be like, go on the roof, and we were saying it was a ranch. So we were-
Well, when it snowed, I actually get up on my wife hates it. I get up on the roof, get the snow off my solar panels because
You don't make any.
clean energy covered with snow. $1,600, 4 tickets to the UConn game. That's a little expensive. Oh, ROV. All those that are paying those. Raising your hand in. Oh. Saw you. Okay. $100 gift certificate. Youth basketball. The Romantic Brewing Company. That's the. Do we know who got the $100 gift certificate? Audience of citizen, anybody? Down line? No, just clicking.
And you put the hip in the tent. And the tent. And pitch tent.
You can pitch a tent, here's the problem. I'm going over this with you. If you do not have water, sanitation, then you cannot. Let's see, what the-
Yes. Military person may claim full exemption from 1 year. So you're gonna get general statute 12-8150.
So we should be getting a check from the state. To cover this.
You're so cute-ish.
The law holder.
So at this time, the else says we're going. At this time, I would like to pause the Board of Selectmen meeting at 8:57. 7:57. We're going to the executive session for legal. And I would ask Mark and Beth to stay.
This time we're going to exit executive session at 8:24 and make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. 8:25.